everyone, I'm Sarah from Lotus Yoga, and thanks for joining me for today's full body stretch. For this class, we're going to work down through the body, stretch it all out, bringing ease into any tight areas. This practice is great for building flexibility and strength for supporting the joints. It's totally suitable for all levels, from complete beginners to more experienced yogis. So we're going to start things out standing at the top of our mat. So get yourself ready, and I'll meet you there. So we're starting standing at the top of our mat. Just take a moment to find your stability. Standing nice and tall, feet are about hip width distance apart, your pelvis is slightly tucked under, there's a soft bend in your knees, and you're lengthening up through the spine. So roll your shoulder blades back down away from the ears. And just feeling that support of the body as you rise up from the feet up through the body. Feel the strength, feel that integrity, feel the intention rising up. We're just going to begin with the neck and with the shoulders, jumping straight into it. Dropping right ear to right shoulder. Inhale, reach the right hand up, resting it on top of the left ear. Now we're not really pressing down deep into that ear. So we're just resting it very gently and drop the left shoulder. So you're using your right hand as a guide, just to draw the right ear very slightly down, and just focusing on dropping that left shoulder. Noticing any tension, noticing any discomfort. Maybe close the eyes and bring a soft gaze, just to bring full body awareness into the pose. Just holding for a few more breaths. And gently bring the head back to center. Release the right hand. And then move to the opposite side. Drop left ear to left shoulder. Inhale, reach the left fingertips. Rest the left hand towards the right ear. And gently drop that right shoulder. So once you do that, you should feel a nice opening all along the right side of the neck. And use that left hand as just a very, very soft guide. We're not pulling onto the neck, we're just gently dropping. Either bring a soft gaze or close the eyes as you begin to bring yourself deeper into the pose. Using your breath to soften and release. Seeing if you can drop the right shoulder a little bit further down. If that arm becomes heavier with the exhale. So we're lengthening on the inhale and softening on the exhale. Gently bring your head back to center. Rest the arms down alongside the body and just shake them out very gently, just rolling the hands around. As you inhale, reach the hands up and overhead, really stretching up the fingertips towards the ceiling. Maybe, if your neck feels okay, you can begin to send your gaze towards the fingers, looking up towards the hands, really stretching the fingertips really, really high as you keep your awareness on the feet as they're rooted, melting into the mat. As you exhale, begin to twist the upper body towards the left and release the arms along the body, stretching them either side. Maybe, if it's okay, on your neck, bring the gaze towards the back fingers, towards your left fingertips. So you want to keep the hips square towards the front of the room, and we're really twisting from our upper torso, twisting from our belly. So that's where the twist should be. So we're not twisting into the hips are staying squared forward, and we're twisting from the belly, looking towards the back of the room. Inhale, reaching both hands Up towards the ceiling, looking up, keeping the feet glued onto the mat. Really stretching through the fingers, finding more length. Up through the body. As we exhale, looking over towards the right. Maybe the gaze goes behind towards the right fingertips. Shoulders soften, so we're not scrunching our shoulders towards the ears. They're nice and soft. This is just a twist into the lower torso. Inhale, reach the hands back up and twisting towards the left once again. Really extending through the arms, extending through the fingertips, feeling that energy flow through the body. As we inhale, we're reaching back up and twisting to the right, looking over the right fingertips. Just staying for 3 more breaths. And then inhale, reach the hands up, and this time plant the palms, draw them down in front of the heart center. Really begin to press into the hands. So we press the elbows away from us. So we're pressing heavily into the hands. So bringing more emphasis on the back of the shoulders. So you should feel this straight away kicking in. Drop the shoulder blades down and pressing into the hands. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, draw the hands back down, keeping pressing in. Inhale, reach up, follow with the gaze. Exhale, following the gaze as the hands come down in front of the heart center. Once more, reaching up very slowly, beginning to look up as the arms straighten. And exhale, draw the hands down. Relax the hands. As you inhale, we're going to deep bend in the knees as we inhale. Reach up, overhead, exhale, we dive forward, hinge from the hips. Upper body comes down into a forward fold. And just take a moment in our forward fold. Allow the shoulders, the neck, the head to become heavy. Maybe take hold of opposite elbow. Maybe rock side to side on the hips. Coming up into an inhale, halfway lift, plant the hands on the shins, hinging forward. From the hips, gaze is slightly forward, roll the shoulder blades back, lower belly hugs in. Opening the backs of the legs, feeling this lovely opening through the spine as we lengthen forward. Down into the hips as we open, stretch the back of the legs. And exhale, forward fold, soften down. Inhale, back up, halfway lift, plant the hands on the shins, roll the shoulder blades back, hinging forward from the hips. Lengthen the spine, finding more length with each breath. And exhale, forward fold. Deep bend in the knees as we inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, palms touch. Exhale, bring the hands back down along the body. Inhale, deep bend in the knees, reach the hands up and overhead. Exhale, hinging from the hips, dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, plant the hands on the shins, halfway lift, shoulders roll back, nice flat back. And exhale, forward fold. I'm going to plant both hands and step our right leg towards the back of the room, coming down into a low lunge. So you might need to bring the left leg slightly forward, just as we drop it down onto the right knee. Untuck the toes, begin to lengthen the spine forward, rolling the shoulder blades back, opening the chest, opening the heart space forward. Drop the hips down towards the mat. It's a great pose for building flexibility in the hips. So you find more space into the tops of the thighs. We're going to make our way into lizard pose from here. So bring your left hand to the inside of the left foot, and we're just going to heel toe that foot so the toes come off the mat. Walk the hands nice and wide, maybe about shoulder distance apart. A couple of variations for this pose. I'll talk you through all three, and you can decide which one suits your body best for today. So you can stay here in this lizard variation, keeping the chest spiraling forward, lengthening through the crown of the head. Or to take it a little bit deeper, you could come down onto the elbows, staying high on the forearms, and just softening the hips, melting them down towards the mat. Or if you want to make this a little bit more challenging today, you can tuck the toes under and lift the knee, the back knee, away from the mat. So if the back knee is up away from the mat, make sure you're really squeezing that knee, pressing into the heel. So wherever you are in your lizard, taking a few breaths. And always know that you don't need to go too far in these poses. Just go to where feels comfortable for you, for your body. The idea of this pose is to work on building that flexibility through the hips, through the joints. So there's no need to push yourselves into any pose. We're only going to end up doing damage. So just take it to where you feel that you want to go today. Just, if you ever feel pain, back out. Know that you can always back off if you've gone too far. Just play around with these three poses, see which one suits you. And once you're in the pose, gently soften the gaze or close the eyes. We're just going to stay for 3 more breaths. And then gently making our way out of the pose, come back up into the hands. If you're on the forearms, heel toe the left foot, back in line. We're going to come into half splits from here. So begin to gently send your hips towards the back of the room. Begin to come up onto the heel of the left foot. You can walk the hands back, just so you have enough support there with the hands. Begin to peel the toes towards your face. So the idea of this pose is that you want to draw the left hip back and send the right hip forward. So we're trying to square off the hips, really bringing a nice length to the back of the leg. It should feel like a really deep opening. Such a lovely pose for any runners or walkers. Even if you spend a lot of the day sitting, it's such a nice release for the back of the leg. So really peeling the left toes towards the face. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, soften down. Inhale once again, lengthen through the spine. And exhale, soften. And just hold. Breathing into the stretch, into that opening. Feeling that release. And then gently coming out of the pose, looking towards the top of the mat. Send your hips back forward, planting both hands. Lifting the right knee away from the mat. We're going to step our left foot or walk it towards the back of the mat into the downward facing dog. So pressing into both hands, sending the left foot to meet the right. And just take a moment shaking the hips out. Back into our down dog. We'll take a moment in stillness in down dog, grounding into both hands, pressing the weight into the backs of the legs. And when you're ready, I'm going to begin to walk up towards the top of the mat, back into our forward fold. Feet about hip width distance apart, upper body hangs heavy. Take a breath. Inhale, plant the hands on the shins, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, grounding all the way into both feet, deep bend in the knees. Inhale, reach the hands up and overhead. Exhale, draw the hands down in front of the heart center. Inhale, reach the hands up and overhead. Exhale, hinging from the hips. Send the upper body forward. Forward fold. Inhale, plant the hands on the shins. Halfway lift. Nice long spine, roll the shoulder blades back. Lower belly hugging in. Exhale, forward fold. Planting both hands onto the mat this time. Stepping the left foot towards the back of the mat. Dropping down onto the knee, coming up into our low lunge. Take a moment to readjust if you need to. Make sure that your ankle is in line under your knee. And you begin to roll the shoulder blades back. So we're allowing the hips to become heavy. So you want the weight of the hips to begin to sink towards the mat. So allow them to sink down and forward. Roll the shoulder blades, lengthen through the crown of the head. So finding more space with each breath through the spine. Coming into our lizard pose from here, we're going to heel toe the foot over towards the short edge of the mat. So the toes begin to come off the mat. Bring the right hand inside the right foot, either staying here or going into one of the poses we did on the other side. So maybe staying here, coming down onto the forearms. Or to take a really deep, tuck the toes under and lift the knee off the mat. Just go to where you need to. And also know that whatever pose you're in, if it feels completely different than the opposite side, this side might feel really, really tight, or this side might feel a little bit more open. Just know we never hold the two parts of the body the same. So you will expect to feel differences. You'll expect to feel some parts of the body a lot tighter, even from one day to the next. Just go with it. Notice what you notice. That's what we're here for. We're here to find that connection, that awareness through the body. So wherever you are, sinking the hips. And just breathing in. Using our breath to soften with each exhale. And lengthen with each inhale. Coming back up onto the hands, planting both hands onto the mat, heel tying the foot, back to center, and begin to send the hips back. Healing, coming up onto the heel, peeling the toes towards the face, into our half splits. Trying to square off the hips as best you can, so peeling the right hip back, sending the left hip forward. Toes point towards your face. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, soften. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, soften. And hold for 3 more breaths. And gently coming back into low lunge, plant both hands. This time we're just going to step the right leg back to meet the left, bring the big toes to touch. Send the hips towards the heels, rest the forehead for a very brief child's pose. So the hips are heavy, the arms are long, and just take a breath, noticing how both sides of the hips feel as we lengthen through the body, as we stretch it all out. Inhale, come back up to tabletop. From here, we're going to begin to draw the right leg away, bring it into the belly, and step it back up towards the top of the mat as if we're coming back into our low lunge. But I'm going to tuck the toes under the left, come up off the left knee, plant that foot onto the mat, staying with your fingertips on the mat. We're going to walk our hands towards the middle of the mat. Bring the toes in, so kind of like you're pigeon-toed. You want the toes pointing slightly in, the heels pointing out. Now you want the legs as wide as they'll comfortably go. Not any wider. If you start to feel any discomfort in the pelvis area and the hips, back off, you've gone too far. So walk the feet as wide as they can go, and really grounding, really pressing into the outer edges of the feet. So you want to feel like the arch of your foot is beginning to draw away from the mat. So we want to protect our feet, protect our ankles here. keeping a soft bend in the knees. We're not locking the knees out. There's a nice soft bend. It's coming first into a halfway lift in our long-legged forward fold. Begin to lengthen forward, hinging from the hips. And exhale, folding forward. Bring your hands roughly in line with your toes. Drop the head, drop the shoulders. Really pressing into all four corners of the feet. Pressing out of the feet. Feeling the arch of the foot really peeling away from the mat. Inhaling, coming back up to our halfway lift. Coming high on the fingertips. Coming forward. So really lengthen the spine, lengthen the crown of the head forward. And exhale, fold forward. Maybe your forehead, maybe the head comes onto the mat. Maybe you can walk the hands further back. Maybe in line with the heels. Just to where you can comfortably go in your wide-legged forward fold. Keeping the awareness on the breath. And the wonderful opening through the legs. And then walk the hands back out. Heel toe the feet together. Just to comfortably, maybe about a little bit further than hip width distance apart. We're just going to begin to sink the hips. So plant the hands on the mat. So you bend into the knees, going down into a squat. So from here, bring the feet, you just want to keep them maybe nestled together. So both feet are planted together. Just going to begin to drop the knees onto the mat. So coming into a toe squat from here. It's quite an intense pose, so only go to where you feel you can comfortably go. Make sure all toes, all 5 toes, including the baby toes, are tucked under. So we're not leaving anybody out here. All toes tucked under, starting out, hands planted on the mat. This might be enough for you. If this is enough, stay here, breathe through it. If you need to come out anytime, come back out, unwind the feet, tap out the tops of the toes. If you feel you want to challenge yourself and take it deeper, walk your hands up the legs and just roll the shoulder blades back, take a breath and stay here. And full body awareness. We're not going to try and distract ourselves by doing anything else. Maybe try close your eyes or bring a soft gaze and just really notice what's going on. Feel into the feet. Feel into all the sensations through the body. Once your body isn't screaming, get me out, just notice what's going on. Such a wonderful pose for your feet. We tend to spend so much of our time in bad footwear, bad shoes, high heels or boots, standing all day. Such a nice pose. If you ever speak to reflexologists or anybody that works with feet, it's such a neglected part of the body. So good just to spend some time looking after them. Just take a few more minutes and maybe bring your hands in front of your heart center in prayer. I'm going to stay here for 3 more breaths, if you can. And gently bring the hands down onto the mat and unwind the feet. And come back to sitting on your heels. Plant the hands. We're going to begin to send our hips back towards our heels, coming into a nice ankle stretch from here. Walk the hands back behind the sitting bones. So again, this might feel super tight and this is as far as you can go. Perfectly fine if it is. Just stay here working on opening the ankles. If you want to take it deeper, begin to lift the knees away from the mat. Only as much as you feel you can do. You should feel a lovely opening into the tops of the ankles. Roll the shoulder blades. Bring full body awareness. Roll the shoulder blades back down away from the ears. Maybe drop the gaze or close the eyes. And return to the breath. We're not going to be here for too long. So just hold this pose as best as you can. Again, another lovely pose for anybody that spends their days standing, walking. It's lovely to work out different parts of the body, strengthening the joints, bringing that mobility, that flexibility into the body. Exhale, gently soften back down, back onto the knees, walk the hands forward, walk the legs back. I'm going to begin by lifting the feet off the mat, just rolling the ankles towards one side, so we're rolling the feet towards one side, wiggling out the toes, moving to the opposite side. That's bringing the blood, bringing the life back to the feet, into the ankles. Cross the ankles over each other, walk the hands back, sit through the legs. From here, we're going to extend the legs out and nice and gently make our way to lying down onto the mat. Walk the feet as wide as the mat, drop the knees in, soften the shoulders and just take a breath. And coming towards the end of our class, for the next pose, we try and completely soften and release everything. So begin to extend the right leg long away from the body. Hug the left knee in. Coming into cat-tail pose here. So hug the left knee in. We're going to begin to draw the left knee across the body over towards the right. So drawing it across the right, we're coming up onto the right hip and drop the right knee down. So the idea is you want to make sure that your shoulders are still nestled deeply, firmly into the ground. So don't worry if that knee is nowhere near the ground at all. You can rest right hand down on top of the left knee, and to come into full cat-tail from here, either stay here if this is enough of a twist, or if you want to come into full cat-tail, you could begin to bend the bottom leg at the knee and maybe take hold of that right leg with your left hand, keeping both shoulders nestled into the mat. So a lovely twist to do. Lovely for releasing the hips, the outer edge of the hip. Twisting from the belly, so nice. Rinse of the spine. And completely soften and release. Shoulders are heavy. Legs are heavy. Soften the muscles of the eyebrows. Soften the forehead. And soften the jaw. Gently unwinding out of our pose, begin to lengthen the bottom leg. If it's not already, hugging that left leg, the left knee back into the belly, rolling back to center, and extending the left leg long. Bring the right knee into the belly, hugging it deeply in. Take hold of it with the left hand and drop it towards the left. Keeping both shoulders really rooted down towards the mat. Left arm rests on top of the right leg, and either stay here or to go deeper, begin to bend at the knee of the bottom leg. Maybe take hold of that bottom foot with the right hand in full cat-tail. And just soften into the pose. Bring your awareness to your breath. As you inhale, you find more length. And as you exhale, you soften in. So the legs and the shoulders melt a little bit deeper towards the mat. Relaxing the muscles, softening down. Gently unwinding out of our pose. Release the grip of the bottom leg, straighten it back out. Hug the right knee in. Roll back onto the back. Extend the legs long. Extend the arms long away from the body, making your way into your Shavasana. Once you're in your Shavasana, completely soften. Soften the shoulders, the hips and the feet. And thanking yourself for this full body experience. I hope you feel a little bit better through the body. You found a little bit of ease, a little bit of comfort, while we build flexibility and strength. If you can stay longer in your Shavasana, I encourage you to do so. If not, just bring your hands to touch, resting towards your forehead and thanking yourselves for making it on the mat, as I thank each and every one of you for joining me today in our class. Namaste.